Welcome back. How are you doing today? Okay. We are going to be doing an art tutorial where we're going to be coloring and we're going to be learning about a very special celebration and tradition in Mexico. In English, this celebration is called the Day of the Dead. In Spanish, this celebration is called El Día de los Muertos. And it's a day that people get together and they celebrate life and they honor and remember people in their family that either lived a really long time ago or some of their family members that they don't see anymore and they miss them. So it's all about celebrating the people in our family's lives. Okay, so what we're gonna need, this is a picture of a sugar skull and we're gonna be coloring her. And the Day of the Dead ceremony or celebration, it's both. They can either paint their faces to look like this. Kind of looks like a skeleton, right? Yeah, but it also looks happy. So they may paint their face as a way to honor their family members, but they're very decorated, very colorful. Some people wear flowers over their hair and then they paint their face. Very similar to how we dress up for Halloween, but when they are doing, they're celebrating someone. They're thinking about someone's life and they're honoring them. So people will either paint their faces to look like a sugar skull, or they'll make a painting or a drawing of one, and then they'll put everything together that they have for that family member, and I'll talk about that in a minute. They put together an altar to celebrate them. So it's really an exciting holiday in the way that it honors the people in our family. So all we need is markers. These colors, we need red, green, blue, yellow, and purple. And that's it. That's all we need. So I wanted to talk about really quick, I wanted to talk about a couple of things. One is called culture. And culture is something that exists all over the world. Culture is a way of people doing things within a small group. Culture can reflect the way people think about things, the food that they eat, the music that they listen to, the way that they dress, the language that they speak, and the art that they do. So culture is tied to a family and where the family lives. So for example, your family, if you celebrate Halloween and your parents celebrated Halloween and your grandparents celebrated Halloween and your kids are going to celebrate Halloween, that is a cultural tradition, meaning that people in your family did it a long time before you were even born, and people are going to continue to do it even when you're a grown-up and there's more babies being born into your family, if any of you guys want kids when you grow up. So a family lineage is just, if you just think about a family lineage as a straight line, and it starts at the people of your family that were together at the very beginning, very beginning, so a long time ago. And then people get older and people have kids, then people pass away, the kids get to be older, and so on and so on. It just keeps going on. So there are members of your family that you don't see anymore that maybe lived 100 years ago. Yeah, this is a really cool celebration and ceremony in the way it makes us feel connected to our family. If you want to, as we're doing this, you can pause the video and maybe ask a grown-up in your house about your family lineage. What was a family member like that you maybe never met before because they lived a long time ago? And what happens with family lineage and tradition is that people hand down the way that they do things over every generation. So every group of people born at the same time, they may say, which this is tradition, we're going to celebrate Halloween. We've always celebrated it. You're going to celebrate it. When you get older, you're going to tell your kids to celebrate it. And then when your kids grow up, they're going to tell their kids to celebrate it. I know, it's kind of mind-blowing, but it's really interesting. And I'm excited to get started on this project. So first, let's write our names. And take your time. And while you're just finishing writing your name, I wanted to tell you that one of the purposes for tradition, for handing something down to a younger child in your family, and then them handing that information down when they grow up to a young child in their family, is to keep the family connected. So like I said, you can absolutely ask the grown-ups in your house to tell them about family members and see if they know stories about their family members, maybe what their life was like, maybe how different things were then than they are now. And it keeps us feeling a really strong connection to the family that lives now and a family that has lived a long time ago. Okay, so I'm going to take your sugar skull. She's so cute. And we are going to color, this is a color by number, okay? So first let's count the numbers. Got it? 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So can you see the numbers on your picture? You've got different numbers, different parts of her body. What we're gonna do is it's called color by number. Now you can color it however you want to, it's your art. I'm going to try and use the color that is next to the number. So for number 1, what color do you see this color right here? The very top one? Do you see it? It's red. So every place on her that we see the color or the number 1, we're going to color red. Number 2, that's the second one, that is the color green. So everywhere that we see the number 2 on her, we are going to color green. Number 3 is blue. So look and see all the different 3s on her. Look and see. So we're gonna put it in our memory that we're gonna color all the 3s blue. Number 4 is yellow. So do you see 4s on her? The number 4? We're gonna color those spaces yellow. And then the last one is the number 5, and the color is purple. So we're gonna look at her again and see Where's the number 5? And we'll do this one number at a time, and we're going to take our time trying to find where all the numbers are, okay? So you don't need to find all of them right now. We'll go through it, and we're going to start with the number 1. So like I was saying, okay, number 1 is red. So grab your red marker. The first number 1 that I see, that's the one that popped up to me first. Maybe you saw a different one. I don't think I see any more 1s on her. Nope, it looks like the 1 is right here at the bottom of her dress. So can you color the bottom of her dress red with me? Okay, cool. Oh, I was gonna tell you, I was talking about culture and tradition, and those 2 big words are really important as you're learning about the world around you. Because first of all, they are based, culture and tradition is based somewhere in the world. So it's a specific space in the world. For example, most Americans celebrate Halloween. We don't all celebrate Halloween, but most of us do. And even if they celebrate Halloween in different parts of the world, it's an American tradition. It came from this country, and we live in America. So, for example, I am Italian, and Italy, my grandparents came from Italy, and they came to America on a boat. But in Italy, they celebrate Christmas Eve. Do you celebrate Christmas Eve? But they celebrate it different because they have a tradition. A tradition is something you do over and over every single time that holiday or ceremony comes, as a way to make it special. So in my culture, they have, it's called the 7, hold on, I don't want to mess this up. Where are you? I'll have to come back with you. I think it's called the 7 fish. And what they do is on Christmas Eve, they eat fish. So everybody, the family gets together, they cook, they come and they spend time with each other. But the tradition in the food, the traditional food is eating fish. 7 fishes, that's what it's called. So they may eat vegetables and stuff, but they celebrate by all making and eating fish. That's an example of a tradition. They've probably done that a very long time. They will probably do that for a very long time. And that information will get passed down from generation to generation, meaning the grown-ups will tell the kids about the tradition. And then the kids will grow up and they'll practice those same traditions. And then when they have kids, they'll tell their kids about it. So they're all celebrating it the same way. And cultural traditions is definitely a way that we can stay connected to that family lineage we were talking about. So all the people that have ever lived in our family, and for the people that will live in our family, it helps us stay connected to them. And it's important to stay connected to them because there's something that we can learn from them. Even if they are no longer with us, there's still something that we can learn from them. So if you're grown up in your house, has a story, or tells you maybe about a family member that lived a long time ago, what they did for a job, or if they had a family of their own, it's really great information to hear. I know it does sound a little bit confusing, but I think it'll make more sense by the end of this tutorial. Okay, so let's move on to number 2. Number 2, we're gonna look for all the 2s and we're gonna color them one at a time. So we are going to look for the number 2, and we are gonna color it green. We're gonna find the number 2s and color it green. And you can color in that whole space that you see a 2. Don't worry if you don't get it in the lines. It's not important. We just want to look at that color 2 and remember, oh yeah, that's green. And then try to find another number 2 on our paper. Okay. So in celebrating the Day of the Dead, we have more 2s. So when you're done coloring that 2, look for another 2. You might want to have a grown-up help you if you need it, and then you can color that space in green as well. So the Day of the Dead is a celebration, and it starts on the same night that we celebrate Halloween, and it lasts until November 2nd. So it's like a 3-day gathering where all the families come together to honor their family members that are no longer here or that we miss. And so they make these things called altars. And an altar is basically, say you're really thinking about someone, okay? Maybe it's because you miss them and you feel sad, or for whatever reason, you're just really thinking about this person. It's most often when you miss them and you feel sad that people do this. So you think about, what color did they like? What kind of art do they like? Or was there certain food that they like to eat? And you get that information, and you might put their favorite color candle. You might make a plate of their favorite food, or anything that you know that they liked, and you put it together in any space. It could be on a table, it could be anywhere, and that's called an altar. So it's really just thinking about that person, and then thinking about the details of that person, what they liked, what was their favorites, and putting it all together in a way to honor them and celebrate their life. Have you guys, there is a movie about this, Finding Another 2. Nope, we got two greens. See, I got outside the lines. It's totally okay. All right, let's go to 3 is blue. I'm using this color blue. You can use light blue, dark blue, whatever kind of color blue you have. Let's find the first number 3 on our paper. Do you see it? Awesome. Let's start coloring. So there's a movie, I don't know if you've seen it, it's called Coco. Have you seen it? Yeah, I really liked that movie. And that movie was about the celebration of the Day of the Dead. Remember when they put together an altar of all Grandpa's favorite things? Remember that? It was a way for them to connect with him. So just imagine lots and lots and lots of people all getting together doing the same thing to honor and show love to the family members that they don't see anymore. That would be pretty amazing. And one of the great things about, I'm gonna find a number 3. Can you find another number 3? Found one? Okay, yeah, I see 3. I see a 3 right here. Do you see that? There's one right here, and then there's one right here. And then I see a 3 right here. And I see a 3 right here. So what color is her hair gonna be? Yeah, it's gonna be blue. I love it. And when like I said, when people make, either they paint their faces, sugar skulls on their faces, or they make them art to put on the altar, they're very decorative, meaning they're just a lot of color. Most of them are not scary looking at all, just like in Coco, remember? Yeah, they were skeletons, but it was beautiful. They're so decorated. Here we go, I'm coloring. One of the other important parts of celebrating the Day of the Dead for people that either live in Mexico or their heritage is Mexican, meaning that they lived in Mexico, but they may live in a different place. So it's still their heritage. So people do that all over the world. If they move, they still celebrate and do the same traditions and ceremonies as their family did. They don't change. They do sometimes, but a lot of people, they don't change just because they move to a different place. Their family line is stronger than where they move to. One of the great, except America, I feel like is a different story, but what are you gonna do? But I think it's really cool that people will move to far off places from where they were born and where their family traditions are, and they do those same traditions in different places of the world, which is amazing because cultures and traditions are beautiful, and they give us an opportunity to learn about people. They give us an opportunity to learn about groups of people, right? Like food, especially. If somebody of Mexican heritage moves to where we live, and their passion, what they want to do when they grow up, or maybe they're already grown up, is they want to cook food. That's what they want to do. But they want to cook food in their heritage, their family line. They want to make what their grandmother used to make for them when they were sick or didn't feel good, or a special, it was my birthday and my grandma used to make that for me. They want to keep that going. Do you know what I'm saying? So grandma might not be cooking as much anymore, but now I've learned all of these recipes of this food from her because I've grown up with it. And as I grow up, I'm gonna make that same food. So that is how we get, I'm gonna use a darker blue. So that is why we have so many different kinds of food around us from different cultures. It's I absolutely love that so much. I went to Italy, and when I was there visiting, we were staying in a little town, and the only kind of food that was there was Italian all day, every day. Do you like Italian food? It's like pasta, ravioli, pizza. I also like Italian food, but where we live, if I want to eat Mexican food, if I want tacos or amazing refried beans, or if I want to go to the Indian restaurant with my family, introduce them to another way of new spices, new foods, things that we've never tried before, we can do that here. One of my favorite places, there's a Cuban place in Temecula. Oh my gosh, they make the most amazing empanadas. So it's a really great way to learn about the way that people do things, the way that they eat, the kind of music that they listen to, and the different traditions that they pass on in their family line. I think we got our 3s, but I'll let you finish up if you're not done. Love when I do stuff like that. I'm okay. I'm good. So I just want to look through my notes. So the Day of the Dead has been celebrated in Mexico for over 500 years. That is a very long time. If you are 3 or 4, or if you're even maybe close to 5 or are 5, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Can you imagine 500 years? So that means that people have been celebrating it that way for a really, really long time. Okay, let's go to yellow. Yellow is number 4. Let's see. And I marked my paper. Yours is not marked with the colors, but I marked mine so that it'd be easier for you to recognize what color goes with what number. But like I said, it's your art, so however you want to do it is great. We're gonna go 4. I see a 4. Do you see a 4? Okay. Awesome. And if you need help, ask for help from a grown-up. I'm gonna color it. So another thing I wanted to share with you about the Day of the Dead is when we don't see family members anymore, we miss them. Yeah. And sometimes we feel sad, right? We all feel sad when we miss somebody. The ceremony that they do, and they dance and they eat and they just celebrate life. They celebrate their family. What that helps them to do is, instead of just feeling so sad, because sad is one of those feelings, does it feel good or not? Mm-mm. It's also another feeling, like anger is, people don't always love to talk about it because it makes them feel uncomfortable. Or if they talk about feeling sad, then they feel sad and they don't like feeling that way. But it's just like anger, it's such an important emotion to talk about because it is a part of every person, and it's not wrong. Remember, there's no wrong emotions. So when people are feeling sad and they really miss someone, and then they either have their own Day of the Dead celebration at their house or they go to a big one with lots of people, it helps that sadness. It helps it, not all of it will come out, but it will make them feel more, they'll be more thinking about how much they loved the person and how they're celebrating them, and how those 3 days are all about that family member or those family members. And it helps to heal those feelings of sadness. It helps to heal. Okay? So love is just like that. Love helps us to heal. And when we have uncomfortable feelings, to let them pass, and then let them come out. That's what I love about the holiday. I have never been to a Day of the Dead celebration, but at some point in my life, I would like to. I love learning about other cultures. I love learning about different places, how people do things differently than we do. I am so curious about the different ways people do things, the ways that they live, their traditions. Super curious. Okay, so we're on 5, which is our last one. And 5 is purple. Did I miss a 4? I did miss a 4. Well, if you missed a color, or a number, that's okay. But I see right here on the outside, there's a 4, so I'm gonna color that in. So I see 2 5s. Do you see any 5s? Okay. And if you don't see any 5s, or if you colored over 5s, don't worry about it. You can just put purple wherever you want to, okay? It's gonna be beautiful. So I see 5s here, right here, and right here. But you could even also color her arm if you wanted to, or wherever you want. Okay, I'm gonna get my purple. and start coloring. So how about you? Do you ever feel curious about different places or different cultures or people that may not do things just like you do? Yeah, I know it's not something that we think about every day, but when we sit back to think about it, it's really, really interesting. I think it's really interesting. I'm sure you do too, especially when you start to experience it. Say you meet a friend and his family celebrates the Day of the Dead. So you go over to their house to play and you can see like an altar with candles and maybe the person's picture that they don't see anymore that lived a long time ago, and you'll understand what they're doing. You'll understand that they're celebrating life and that they are honoring their ancestors. Ancestors are the people that lived way, way long time ago, all the way up to your grandparents. So it's, like I said, that family lineage, because our family was alive a really long time ago. Okay. So which color so far that we've used is your favorite? Yeah, I like that one too. So just like the movie Coco, and the one thing that I want you to put in your memory is that the Day of the Dead is a celebration of life, just like in the movie Coco. It's a beautiful celebration of life. And it's a way that we honor the people in our family. Ooh, I missed another 4. I'm gonna get that real quick. Ooh, I love the pretty flower in her hair. Did you see that pretty flower? Yeah, that's a part of the decoration for the sugar skulls. Awesome. And if you're curious, you can maybe ask a grown-up to show you pictures of Day of the Dead, like the way that people do their makeup and the different altars that they make. And maybe you'll see pictures about the food that they eat. Yeah. Okay. Let me see yours. Oh my gosh, I love it. It's so colorful and decorated. Perfect. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you had fun and learned something about the Day of the Dead, and I will see you next time.